say thank you to everybody who is here, especially a big thank you to those who had to go to extraordinary efforts to be with us. We genuinely appreciate everything that you go through to be here with us on Zoom. If this is your first time to join us on Zoom or first time joining us ever, we want you to know that we are a very welcoming community. We're a small community, but we're so happy you're here. We're each part. I'm sorry. I thought I heard someone.
Oh, that was me. I just said thank you. It's my first time.
Oh, good. Well, we're very glad you're here. So this session will be recorded, and once Lorraine begins the recording, everyone's microphone should be muted. So mine is not yet muted. I don't know if everybody else is or not, but Doreen will take care of that.
I can do that. Okay, I'm going to mute all. Okay.
Okay. So, as you know, we are not here by accident. We are each part of the divine source energy that manifests as unity on the Eastern Shore, here and now. We celebrate the gift of life and our unity with all others, for we all are one. We bless and embrace people of every race, culture, lifestyle, and creed. We affirm that the one source as light and love expresses equally on every life. We give thanks to the presence of God within each of us for our ever increasing acceptance and expression of the divine truth. And we begin with our first positive affirmation. And please say this with me, although you are muted, you won't hear anyone but me and yourself. We lovingly and gratefully acknowledge the presence of the divine in our midst. And because we are a purpose-led church, we'll repeat together our purpose statement, which is, our purpose is to foster a new level of spiritual awareness through worship and fellowship, and to lift one another to a Christ-like maturity. And now I think we're going to enjoy a song.
Just another grain of sand on a coastline stretching miles. Just another stalk of wheat under starry Kansas sky. I'm a smooth, polished river stone melting into endless sea. A little cloud in a clear blue sky blowing in the breeze. Infinitely minuscule, can I still be a light for you? Though I be small, God give me the grace to be love's beacon while I'm in this place. Help me be all I can for the human race. Use me, Spirit, though I be so very, very small. Well, a turtle leaves the sandy beach to nest her unborn young. The stalk of wheat can feed a child when bread it has become. washed from the riverbed helps make the salty sea. And clouds give rain to earth to grow the flowers and trees. So infinitely powerful, the little things they do. Though I be small, God give me the grace to be love's beacon while I'm in this place. Help me be all I can for the human race. Use me, Spirit, though I be so very, very small. Though I be small, God give me the grace to be love's beacon while I'm in this place. Help me be all I can for the human race. Use me, Spirit, though I be. Use me, Spirit, though I be so very, very small.
That was a beautiful song, and I know I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed it. And that leads us next to our spiritual power. Each month we celebrate a different spiritual power. And for the month of January, that power is faith, as shown on this beautiful royal blue banner. Faith. And now we'll repeat together our affirmations. Again, you will only hear your voice and mine, but please join me as we repeat together these affirmations. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. We know God blesses all special intentions in our prayer box, and that God's perfect plan is in action. And this one, let's put some spirit behind it and say we are alive, alert, awake, joyous, and enthusiastic about life. Today's daily word is comfort. And I'll read that to you as soon as I get there. This word was selected because it goes along with the message we're going to hear in a few minutes. And that message focuses on sanctuary. So today's word is comfort. The presence of God within is my source of comfort and strength. Remembering that God is within me now and always helps me cope in trying and difficult situations. Life has its ups and downs, its triumphs, and even tragedies. But I'm able to weather any storm and be grateful in every experience when I rely on the power of God within. I not only grow in understanding and faith, but I become more aware of my indwelling divinity that leads me on the path of peace. Quote, I will not leave you, end quote, are words that I have said to my loved ones when they needed support or encouragement. And I feel those words deep within me now as I seek peace and comfort from my awareness of God. Knowing that I do not face any situation alone is a beautiful comfort to me now and always. And a quote from John chapter 14, verse 18. I will not leave you orphaned. I am coming to you. That's today's daily word. And now I'd like to introduce today's speaker to you. She is someone who has become a dear friend to those of us at Unity on the Eastern Shore. She always has a smile. She always brings love. And I am delighted today to welcome to the podium, the virtual podium, Sharon Sinclair.
Thank you, Andrea, for that lovely introduction. I hope you can hear me. Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
I can go? All right. Well, first of all, greetings to everybody. I just want you to know what an amazing feeling it was to just see your faces. It was just so amazing. And I'm just thrilled to be here. And I thank you for inviting me back again to be your speaker. It feels a little bit surreal to me, actually, because I'm sitting up here in Canada with my iPhone. And I have to tell you that I did not come easily to technology. In fact, I remember writing a poem a few years ago about, my fears that it was going to dehumanize the human race. And yet here we are, it's been exactly the opposite. And by virtue of the technology, my voice is in my beloved Fairhope today with all of you. And that just amazes me. This is not the most updated phone, so it loses its power sometimes. And I don't know if Ernie Higginson has signed in at all, but he was my technological guru. And I'm sure if I had consulted him, I might have been able to figure out how you make sure that you don't get distractions. But it was too complicated for me. I was afraid I'd lose you all. So, so my friend Rosemary always says to have a backup plan. So Rosemary, this is my backup plan. My sister-in-law has a very, very long cord. And if I see the power getting too low, I should be able to charge up again. So I invite you to just settle back, and I hope that my words will resonate with you and will bring you some comfort and some inspiration, hopefully today. I invite you to start with a prayer. So if you just want to settle comfortably, I will share this prayer with you. Dear God, as another busy week unfolds, may we remember to look up, way up. May our eyes search the sky for your signature. It's written everywhere, in the wisp of a cloud, in the brilliance of the sun, in the bold declaration of a shooting star. As another busy week unfolds, may we remember to look around at the many blessings we sometimes take for granted. The gifts of family and friends, the provisions and resources that not only sustain our physical existence, but also elevate our spirit and enrich the quality of our lives. Music, beauty, nature, art. As another busy week unfolds, may we remember to look within, to visit that sacred space where your divine spark shines brightly and manifests equally in each of us. May we remember that regardless of life's challenges and hardships, we are loved beyond measure and protected always. May we rest easy in the knowledge that we are expressions of your divine mind And as such, we are never truly alone, and nothing can ever separate us from your love. Amen. Especially during this pandemic, have you noticed how often the word safety is heard? People tell us just be safe, wear your mask, wear gloves, stay at home, and be safe. And to me, that word always conjures up this sense of sanctuary. And so I'm going to have that as the theme of my message today, and I'll be considering three aspects of sanctuary. First of all, the word means and is defined as a holy or sacred space, a place that provides safety or protection from danger or a difficult situation. So our minds might go immediately to a religious sanctuary, such as your beautiful sanctuary down there in Fairhope, or perhaps an area that's defined like a wildlife sanctuary. But consider also how our homes are a place of sanctuary. And right now, we're all encouraged to stay home, to shelter in place, and to be safe. And that's all great, especially if you have a very safe home to be in. But a situation happened one time for me that really made me very aware that so many of us do not have the benefit of that sanctuary. And it happened one winter when my friend Jim and I were staying in a place called Bisbee, Arizona. And Bisbee was located very near the border between Arizona and Mexico. And one day we were out enjoying the beautiful scenery of that state. And a situation happened that really deeply impacted me. It went deep into my psyche, and I'll tell you about it through a poem called Day Trip. Traveling along, spirits high, basking in the blue of Arizona sky. Cars slowing down. Up ahead, uniformed patrol check and a sense of dread. Windows rolling down. Flashlight's beam searches through the cargo for a migrant's dream. No one is concealed. No one pays. Canada is your country. Have a real nice day. Traveling along feels like rain, dropping on my conscience, dropping from my conscience on a passport stain. And I was so overwhelmed by the thought that how is it I am so fortunate to have a passport, a set of papers that allows me to go anywhere that I want, and that I have a home from which to take those travels. So it made me very aware of a very troubling issue. And I know that it is not easily resolved, and people have many different opinions about it, about that whole border issue. But it made me very aware of the concept that's expressed in Luke 12:48, that to whom great things are given, great things are expected. A friend of mine, Gloria Garvey, who lives now on Vancouver Island in Canada, she ends all of her emails with a quote from Mother Teresa that we cannot always do great things, but we can do small things with great love. So I think maybe thinking along that line, Jim and I decided that winter that we would be volunteers at a Mexican Migrant Resource Center. The organization that sponsored that was the Episcopal Church in Bisbee. So we signed up to do some shifts where the whole purpose was simply a humanitarian effort to provide food and resources like warm socks to people who were in transition, in some phase of their transition as migrants. And the experience really reminded me of something I had studied in school called Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And many of you might be familiar with that. It's sort of like a pyramid, if you can imagine, and that at the bottom, there are physiological needs like food and shelter. And above that, safety and security. Above that, love and belonging. Then esteem. And the highest on the hierarchy would be self actualization and the fulfillment of one's potential. So the idea really is that it's more difficult to ascend to that higher level of needs if our huge motivation is always the lower levels to satisfy those needs. But it is well known, of course, that hierarchy isn't static, it isn't rigid. Often people will pass through those stages at different times based on circumstances. But in general, if our focus is on satisfying our physiological needs, if that consumes all our energy, then it's going to be more difficult to ascend to a higher level. And one day, as we were approaching the border, my eyes lifted to behold the vision of the beautiful Sierra Madre Mountains. And gradually, I lowered my glance and came into the vision of an ugly border fence. And I was immediately struck by the concept that there is so much wealth in the world. If we could just expand our vision and learn how to share it better. I kept thinking how much better our world would be if everybody had their physiological needs met and were able to focus on self-actualization. Can you imagine the energy vibration in the world if everybody were free to do that? I read a great quote that was attributed to Mike Roeder of Christ Center Assembly, that if you are more fortunate than others, it's better to build a longer table than a taller fence. So I just want to commend you individually and as a community for everything you do to take care of one another and to reach out to those who are less fortunate. I saw great evidence of that when I was down in Fairhope. And I know that with my friends also who are attending today, you really do put forth an effort to share the wealth. And let's just make everybody have a sense of security from fulfilling their basic needs. The second part of sanctuary, or aspect of it that I'd like to address, concerns the sense of safety and security that we find in our relationship with others of like mind. I think of this as our psychological or emotional sanctuary. We're so fortunate if we have family or friends who can provide that sanctuary. And often they do that through conveying a sense of sacred presence, which is something that you, Anne, referred to beautifully last week when you told us about the Zulu tribe, who have this exchange where the one says, I see you, and the response is, I am here. The feeling of sanctuary that this communication can create is immense. And I'm pleased today that one of our group is here for the first time, my friend Debbie Boatner from Mississippi. And I'm going to share with you a poem I wrote once and dedicated to Debbie. To give you a little background, one particular winter, Jim and I were staying in a lovely house. I really liked that house on South Section Street. And Debbie and her husband, Bob Boatner from Mississippi, came to visit. But that period of time coincided with a really difficult passage in my life. I was very highly anxious. I had recently left early a position in teaching because I was motivated by the knowledge within me that to be authentic at all, I simply had to leave and make poetry my first priority. I guess you could say I kind of vaulted the hierarchy a bit because in my search for self-fulfillment, I had not met all my physiological needs, and they were more difficult to achieve without a reliable salary coming in. So that was a source of discomfort for me. Also, there were other issues troubling me, and it was like I probably had a panic attack. But fortunately, my good friend Debbie sat up with me through the night and talked to me with such kindness and compassion and listened so attentively that by the morning, all my fears were gone. And I was so grateful to her that I wrote her this poem. And I'd like to share it with you so that maybe it can help you remember a time or many times when your friends have provided that emotional sanctuary for you. It's called Debbie's Words. In the early hours of the morning, when sleep's seductive gown had slipped beyond the reach of outstretched mind, a personal tsunami crashed across the meandering path of my life, tossing me like a crumpled bit of matter into the eye of reality's storm. Waves of anxiety drowned my thoughts and swept away the fingerprints of dreams drawn so long ago in the shifting sands of love's abandoned shore. Doubts rose from the turmoil like a shark, circling all hope in a hungry quest. Depression's powerful undercurrent threatened to pull my fragile vessel from its wavering course. And then, Debbie's words, with the power of insight, reached beneath the surface of my soul to clasp my flailing spirit. Debbie's words, with the warmth of understanding, lifted my wounded heart to the safety of kindness. Debbie's words, with the ease of friendship, erased the vulnerability that had hung through the night in a heavy weight around my uncertain future. Debbie's words, with the gentleness of grace, whispered sweet hope into every faltering breath. Debbie's words, with the strength of conviction, anchored me in a safe harbor and restored my courage. Debbie's words, like drops of mercy, soothed my troubled mind. The sweetest gift a friend can offer came to me this morning, wrapped in the exquisite comfort of Debbie's words. Thank you, Debbie. So words are very important, and we must choose them wisely. They can heal us or they can destroy us. Whoever said, apparently in the late 1800s or mid 1800s, somewhere in there, that sticks and stones can break my bones, but words shall never hurt me. They didn't live on my planet, because I know from personal experience that words can be very hurtful, very cutting. And if we allow them to damage our self-esteem, it can take a long time to recover from something somebody said. So I read once that we are masters of our unspoken words. Once uttered, we are enslaved by them forever. I think that was actually attributed to Winston Churchill. So we must choose our words wisely. Charles Fillmore, and perhaps for some of the rest of you who go to other congregations, you might not know this, but Charles Fillmore was the co-founder of Unity. And he says, words are also seeds. And when dropped into the invisible spiritual substance, they grow and bring forth after their kind. I think I'll repeat that because sometimes I need to really understand his nuances. Words are also seeds. And when dropped into the invisible spiritual substance, they grow and bring forth after their kind. So I think we need to choose words wisely in conversation with ourselves, because to me, that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They bring forth after their kind. I saw a good quote on Facebook recently that read, "May your inner voice be the finest voice you know." And I've become a fan of Facebook. And I'm so grateful for people all over the world who post really inspiring concepts. And one of those individuals I've met recently is here today, tuning in, I believe, all the way from Scotland. Welcome, Liesl. Liesl Graham is a multi-talented soul who creates loveliness in everything she touches. And she wrote something that is one of the most beautiful concepts I've ever considered. She says, I want to eat beauty so that my words will have the fragrance of hope on them. I want to eat beauty so that my words will have the fragrance of hope on them. So beautiful, Lisa. So let's keep that in mind this week. Eat lots of beauty. And fortunately, I know in Fairhope you are surrounded by beauty. But wherever you are in our beautiful, magnificent world, let's eat beauty and make sure our words have the fragrance of hope on them for ourselves and for others. It occurred to me that if we were somehow able to flip Maslow's hierarchy and devote more energy and time into self-fulfillment, fulfilling our potential, and living our true purpose, then maybe some of those other needs could be met with less difficulty. So, for example, if we were to focus on self-fulfillment and fulfilling our sense of our purpose, then we automatically experience a greater sense of self-esteem. And with that greater self-esteem, I think we're in a better position to choose healthier love relationships, which will satisfy our sense of belonging. We make better choices, perhaps, than we might have done. And when we are anchored in that sense of belonging, we have the security and the sense of safety we need. And perhaps with that as our foundation, we will be able to meet more easily our physiological needs. I truly believe that when we are trying to fulfill our purpose, trying to discover what it is and to live in harmony with it and fulfill it, that the universe will somehow help us and support us and help us to meet those physiological needs. Perhaps that's what the Bible intends when we're advised in many passages not to worry. But I've discovered that to let go of worry and to trust completely in our divine purpose requires massive amounts of faith, the very power that we celebrate in January. So now the third aspect of sanctuary I'd like you to consider is our spiritual sanctuary, that place deep within each of us where we are at the center of ourselves. Anne Morrow Lindbergh, who is the wife of Charles Lindbergh, wrote that when we stand at the center of ourselves, we find something worthwhile extending toward the periphery of the circle. We find again some of the joy in the now, some of the peace in the here, some of the love in me and thee that goes to make up the kingdom of heaven on earth. A Unity minister named Reverend Alan Lyle stated that in our innermost being, we become imbued with the essence of God. For in this essence lies not only security, but a respite from all outer conditions. In this space, eternal protection awaits us. He writes that in this realm of calmness and security, the divine intersection of God, Christ, and our highest consciousness provides a zenith of silent power. This place of inner peace becomes our ultimate sanctuary. Psalm 91:1 tells us that he who dwelleth in the sacred place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Charles Fillmore called this place of the Most High the inner chamber, the place within where we consciously meet God. And one of the ways of journeying to that inner sanctuary is through the practice of meditation, as many of you know. So I'd like to conclude my message today by taking you on a meditation. So I want you just to relax where you are. And I think really that I'm going to make this a Canadian meditation, because some of you down there may not have experienced a Canadian winter. And despite the harshness that can come with that, there is great beauty. And it's been my experience in the past that the reason most people don't like winter is because of its sense of cold. But through the power of visualization and using our imagination, we can kind of vault over the cold trip to a very lovely cottage that sits on the edge of a forest. And outside the cottage, there's a beautiful field, a beautiful white blanket of snow on this field. So I want you to just trust me and come with me, step into the cottage, be immediately surrounded by the warmth that's coming from a fireplace. And just smell the fragrance of apple cider on the wood stove. It's so lovely. And be aware of the colors that are in this really comforting, inviting, welcoming room. Wonderful tapestries and beautiful wooden floors and beams. And just turn around and look out through a big picture window. Look out at the wonderful expanse of pure white. The sun is shining very brightly on this snow. The sky is a brilliant blue, and the sun is making little diamond glints on the snow. And out of the corner of your eye, you see the arrival of a beautiful deer who crosses the path on his way to the other side of the field and into the forest. And he walks quite purposefully and leaves a track behind him, the only thing visible on this beautiful expanse of white snow. And may that remind us that every day is like a fresh beginning, like a fresh blanket of hope and potential, and that we need to be careful what tracks we leave upon that expanse. So just turn yourself around now and make your way towards a big comfortable chair that's waiting for you in front of the fire. Settle comfortably in the chair, feel supported by its weight. And when you are feeling lovely warmth from the fire, start to take some deep breaths. Just breathe normally, naturally for a little while. And when you are breathing now, try to hold that breath for a little bit longer. Breathe in, hold for maybe a count of 4, and exhale. Another breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. And this time, make your breath a breath of gratitude. Think of all the things that you are grateful for that come to your mind. And as you exhale, try to hear the beat of your heart or feel it as a sensation in your chest. And you gradually become aware that the warmth from the fire is flooding your entire body. It feels to come up through your feet and legs and circulates through your body, giving you such a sense of security and warmth and peace. And turn your eyes upward, and you will see through the skylight of the cottage that high above in the heavens, it's like a crystalline matrix. And from that matrix extends down beautiful white, healing light that passes through the heavens, down easily penetrating the skylight and moving down in through your body from the top of your head. It circulates into your body And wherever it touches you, it brings a sense of healing. So if you have any aches or pains, let the light linger there for a little while. And just fill yourself with this sense of amazing well-being. With every beat of your heart, the light and the warmth circulates through you. And when you feel completely relaxed, I want you to consider again those 4 questions I mentioned earlier in another speech. Apparently, if we consciously repeat these questions, it will move us into our purpose. We don't have to have the answers. We just have to have the questions. So just silently ask these of yourself. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What makes me happy? And I'd like you to visualize a little chamber in your heart that is like a well of emotions. And I want you to see yourself withdrawing from that well to prepare yourself for the week ahead. I want you to withdraw enough compassion to comfort another's broken heart, enough joy to celebrate another's victory, enough courage to meet any challenge, and enough faith to light a candle in someone else's darkness. And before we get ready to come back again, I want you to reach into the recesses of your memory and say, either silently or speak it out loud, the words from the beautiful 23rd Psalm. I have heard that if we recite this numerous times a day even, that it can change our life. It is so full of positive affirmation. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'm going to give you about a minute just to sit and contemplate your own sense of purpose and your own desires and goals. Just sit with them in the warmth of the fireplace for a little while. And with the assurance that we are given, that we are never alone and nothing can ever separate us from the love of God, I leave you with these intentions. Like the sunrise in the morning, may we greet each day as a new beginning, filled with divine grace. Like the sunset in the evening, may the light of our day's journey bring to the world a vision of peace. And holding your vision of peace, please take some deep breaths, stretch a little if you need to, and see yourself coming back to your own special sanctuary, your own temenos, apparently, is the word for a sacred space. So wherever you are may it be a sacred space. And when you are ready, open your eyes.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Andrea. I don't know if I remembered in the speech to say that I thought it was such a great idea that you had said in your newsletter that you would intentionally plant more seeds than you knew you were going to need so that you could have extra for others. And I thought that was really lovely. And it was like Bobby Joe had said too about intentions. We can make our intention to do something like that. And that's very powerful.
Well, thank you. I know that I got a lot from your message, and sanctuary is where I was just now and where I am now, in the sanctuary of my home, for which I'm very grateful. So thank you. And if you enjoyed Sharon's talk, please show her the nonverbal appreciation using the American Sign Language signal for applause. So thank you.
I didn't you could see me because I couldn't see you. I was just looking into the void. But halfway through.
So today, we have a special opportunity to give love offerings to Unity on the Eastern Shore. And we do that through a special contract with the U.S. Postal Service. The Postal Service will actually come to your house, and if you put a check or cash in an envelope bearing the address shown on your screen, they will deliver that directly to Unity on the Eastern Shore. So we thank you in advance if you're able to make a contribution. And we pray divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I have, and all that I receive. And now we're going to enjoy another song.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me. I will not be shaken, I will not be moved. Love cover me, may my heart awaken, tenderness be proved. Love cover me, love cover me, love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love, 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 love.
And now we will say together our prayer for protection, which you will see on your screen. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, for we are one. And we'll conclude with the peace song, after which, if you'd like to stick around for a little while to continue to have some chit chat, that would be fine. But now the peace song.